Sure.
But one thing that, that I learned from Hef was his grace. Like that's one thing you wouldn't necessarily know unless you were there with him, is that every person that came up to him and asked for a picture or an autograph, he would always gracefully take the picture or sign the autograph. He was always nice. And you could imagine how many people were all over him all the time. Whenever we go in and out of a restaurant or a club or whatever it might be, he was always smiling. He'd always shake everybody's hand and always so nice. And that's one thing that I really admired and learned, because being around so many celebrities over all the years, not everyone's like that.
Yeah,
For sure. They might get upset or pissed off if somebody wants to take a picture with them, or ignore them or whatever it might be. So I just really always admired that about him.
Yeah. And honestly, I mean, that's cool to hear, because we've heard a lot of stories about Hef and never really heard that side of it, that he, because I don't think a lot about him being out in public. I always, when I picture Hef, I picture him in the robe at the mansion, like
we went out all the time. I mean, I think that we went out 3 or 4 times a week, probably. Wow. We'd have our favorite restaurants we'd go to each week. Like Thursday night was Atlantic. There's this restaurant in LA called Atlantic. We'd always go there, and I'd get my salmon and my the berry crumble dessert. He'd always get the same thing, his fried chicken. And a lot of times we go to restaurants and he would have his food brought in from the mansion because he didn't like what was on the menu. So prior to that, he would bring it in, and they would bring him his food, and we'd all still get to order from the menu, but he'd bring in his own food.
And when you're